Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to another Alaska Wolfpack Floss Tube video. Your host, Carla, the mayor of Dorktown. Yes, everyone settle. I hope you have your stitching handy, because apparently I'm feeling pretty blabby today. I tried making a video earlier and realized that my heater was on and I was shouting over it. That was really annoying. And once I realized that, I had to shut everything down, and now we're going to try again. It's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood. I can't show you what I'm reaching for yet because it's a surprise. Okay. So let's start with last time we met, I had shown you the Weaver's bird cell and how I had messed up this leaf. So after I got done making the Floss Tube video and uploading that, I ripped out the leaf, which was super easy, and repositioned it and put it right where it was supposed to be. So everything is perfect. And now that I've shown you, I can roll it up and put it underneath that grime guard. So I'm very excited about that. So that came out beautifully. So beautiful. What happened after that? Let's see, I have to look here to see what came after that. What came after that was Floss Tube video. Yes. Okay. So I worked on odd clover, which I'll show you in a moment. Then I started the 50 by 50 pattern over on Magical Cells. That came out. And then the 25 by 25 pattern came out, but I didn't do that one until yesterday. Or day before, actually. I started it, but finished it yesterday. And then last Friday, this is good. Last Friday, I decided I was going to come home from work because I knew I'd be a little tired, a little too tired for stitching, because Friday I'm just fried every Friday. Friday. So I think I should begin bobbinating my Jody refloss because I have a lot. I have a lot of floss. So Friday night I started, and I had my big baggie of my plastic bobbins. I had my Sharpie marker. I was ready to rock and roll. So I started bobbinating. And at first I was just picking up whatever's, well, it was in a suitcase. I put it in a big salad bowl and it was overflowing, which now that I think about it, I did a lot of bobbinating. So here are, I don't know, I got this old junky box. My brother sent me a box of goodies. Look at all those tags. It's a lot of floss. I mean, seriously, I'm not even grabbing all of them. So much taggage. So that should give you a clue. But towards the end of the evening, I think it was about midnight-ish, I finally had to stop. And so I went to bed. When I woke up the next morning, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I just want to keep doing it. So instead of spending last weekend working on odd clover and getting most of it done, I ended up spending Saturday from when I woke up until I went to bed late that night bobbinating floss. So normally, if you're doing DMC or Sullivan's or something, you're bobbinating another floss, there usually isn't, it doesn't take as long. Well, for the Jody refloss, it does, because there are two knots. So you've got the knot here, and then you've got a knot again here where the floss starts. So I have my magic homemade ripper that I absolutely love and can't live without. I recently broke the other one and had to bury that in the neighbor's yard. Give it a good send-off. I would have given it a good Viking send-off, but, you know, the fire pit is full, so we have to empty that before we can burn more stuff. I'm kidding, I didn't bury it in the backyard. I just tossed it. I had to wrap the needle up, though. Yeah, it snapped. I think the needle snapped. I mean, the other one I'd had for a lot longer than this one. These are super easy to make, super easy. And if you want to know how, let me know in the comments below, and I'll explain it next time how to make one of these, because I believe I have another one of these sticks around somewhere, and I can actually show you how to make one. Pretty easy. So anyway, so it takes a while to do the floss. You know, undo the knots, undo the thing, wrap it around your hands a few times to separate the floss a little bit, and then windy, windy, wind. So, of course, bobbinating in general takes a while. But Saturday morning, I ended up separating the regular floss from the limited edition floss because I couldn't stand it anymore. I read this book called The Motivation Light Switch, and it says that if you have a big project, you should break it down into its components. Well, the components in this case, if I were to do it completely that way, it would be separate the limited edition from the regular floss, then separate the limited edition by year and month, because that's how it is anyway. And then when you go to the regular floss, you separate it by number groups. So that way you would end up bobbinating in order instead of, you know, whatever. I chose not to do all of that. I just separated the limited edition from the regular floss, and that works for me. Because, you know, then it wasn't as daunting. And I ended up filling up the one box with my limited edition floss. Now, technically, this should be 2 full boxes of floss, but with the limited edition floss, I like to give floss to people so they can experience a little Jody Ree, maybe, you know, stitch a little something with it to see if they like it, because Jody Ree floss is a bit different from everybody else's. So it's an over-dyed, but you get 2 separate colors, and every single one is like that, except I had this example right here. Sometimes you might get a variation. So, you know, this goes from dark to light, charcoal gray, and this is called Wicked Witch of the West. But it's pretty. It's a pretty color, and I like it. But, you know, there's a couple colors that are like this, but for the most part, you're going to get vastly different colors. And that's what makes this exciting and put your brain to work and challenges you on how you're going to do some things. So, so yeah, the limited edition got done, and then I finished filling up a box of regular floss, which this box is not in order. I'm going to put them in order as soon as I finish bobbinating all the floss. So one day, one night, and I got all this done. It may not seem like much now that it's in the box, but it is. And now I just have my Jody Ree salad right here. Now, when I started, I had taken all of the floss out of the little suitcase thing that I had it in, because there's a lot of floss. And that pile was up here. Let's see, do that. And it was like falling off the sides, and it was becoming kind of annoying. So my salad, and I figure at this point I do a little bit at a time. I did get new Sharpie markers because the Sharpie marker I had died horribly, tragically. Yeah, those are a lot of bobbins there, but that Sharpie marker was old anyway, so now I have two fresh new ones. Two fresh new ones. $1.83 at Walmart. So anyway, moving on. That's what I did on Friday, so let me show you all the rest of the goodness. Let me show you Odd Clover now that I can reach for it. So that's as far as I've gotten. You can't tell, I can tell, but you probably can't, that I've done some of the confetti stitching in there and filled in some more areas. It's looking so good, so good. And honestly, I could have had this done last week. Still kicking myself, and now it's Sunday. Yeah, I need to get busy, but here's the cool part. Let's look in the planner for next week. The only thing I have going on for next week is Ornament of the Month on Friday. Ta-da! That's it. Of course, next Saturday is the Neglected Floss post on DeviantArt, which will get done. And then there's a note here that says finish something, because that's for a SAL that I joined, and it is called, let me get in my blog, bloggity-blog, the 2019 Fully Finished Gallery, which is supposed to help motivate everyone to FFO their stuff. So I need that motivation, and I figure if I do one thing a month, because I have pillows, I have wall hangings, I even have a quilt. The topper's done, but I haven't put it together with the batting in the backside, and I haven't quilted it, obviously. So that needs to be done. So I already have something that I plan on showing off for the gallery. I believe that is going to be on February 10th. So I actually have a deadline for this. I need to have this done and sewn onto my daughter's vest by February 10th. I can do it. I know I can. Super exciting. Okay, so next week is like clear of everything but Odd Clover until Friday. So let's show off some of the things. All right, so here's the 50 by 50 pattern. Jody Reef fabric. It's a limited edition called Caribbean Seas. And of course the floss of the yellowy green pink. Floss is called Toxic Potion. And I can't remember the name of the other one right offhand, but it's really pretty. So let me get in there super close so you can see it. And isn't that lovely? I absolutely love it. Reminds me of Harlequin. Like the Harlequin dolls I used to get my mom. So I did that up like Harlequin, you know. I think it's really gorgeous. And I love this fabric. I actually got a sneaky peeky at the February 50 by 50 and it blew me away. So now the ideas I had on how to continue with the 50 by 50, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do it that way. Can't even share the idea because it's not on the table anymore. It's on the floor. I might pick it up later. I don't know. We'll see. But that's just gorgeous. Super gorgeous. I love it. And then I started the 25 by 25 pattern Thursday night because Nancy and I were watching Critical Role, and managed to finish it Friday. And I chose, this is supposed to be yellow according to the pattern, but I didn't want to do yellow. I thought primary red, blue, and green would be great. And then I don't think you can see it, but there's sparkly floss in there. That's the Sullivan's Metallic. I really love working with the Sullivan's Metallic thread. It is so easy. So doing that. And I'm going to do all the 25 by 25s on here. And by the end of the year, I'll be able to make 6 biscornu. So it's all on the Picture This Plus 18 count Mirage. I believe this is what this is called. Mirage. Yes, Mirage. I know it kind of looks like Fog or, well, it's not green enough for Haunted, but kind of looks like that. But this is Mirage. Really pretty. Look at that. It's got some really nice coolness to it. So I had this big piece and I couldn't think of what else I would use it for. So let's use it for this. Make little tiny biscornu, which I'm going to do. These are going to be tiny, tiny biscornu. Now, I've shown you before in one of my previous videos the smallest biscornu I ever made. I believe it's 10 by 10, and it is tiny. It's almost the size, I think it's the size of a nickel. It's very small because I love making biscornu, but I'm trying to be more creative this year and not make every square pattern into a biscornu because, you know, I don't know about you, but oh, shoot, what just happened? What just happened here? Something happened. Oh, that's what happened. Okay. There we go. I was trying to show you this fabric, but my minder came attached to a different one. Okay, so for the Neglected Floss for February, that pattern, I'm using the, you can't see it very well. It's also sparkly. There we go. The December 2018 Carnelian Quartz fabric, and I've already stitched the pattern on it. It's on this side, but you don't get to see it because it's not released yet. So I'm doing it on this fabric right here, and it's going to be very tasty. I think you will like it. And then the Blackwork cell. Okay. I don't know how many of you that are watching now have watched my beginning videos where I showed off a bunch of stuff, but I haven't done blackwork in a while. I love blackwork. So my one and only blackwork project was my Minnesota Vikings guy. Here he is. He was on the wall. I had to take him down so I could show him to you. It's my first thing. I did the drawing, and then I ended up doing all the black work, and I believe I counted it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different black work patterns are in here. And then on here, I changed the direction of the black work pattern that I used for the hair so that it would give the braid some texture. And it does. It makes it look really groovy. So, I'm still in love with it. I'm still in love with it. Anyway, so here is the first block of the blackwork cell. Get my hand behind there. Can you see that? Okay, there we go. Is it focusing? It's really tiny. It's 18 count white Ada, of course, the Zweigert. And I absolutely love it. And you see on my small pieces, I always have like these little tiny minders. I get those from Unconventional Cross Stitch. Usually they're like an extra little bonus. Jody keeps me fully stocked on them because apparently this year I have a lot of small projects that are going on. And then this is the most recent one that I got because I'm going to show you this in a minute. But this is my little freebie that I got this time. It's a little sugar skull. I absolutely love this little thing. Oops, my hair is on there. I don't know if you could see it, but it's like a button. It just kind of sets down in there, and I really like the way that one looks. I have another one. Where is it? It's on one of these. Oh, here it is. So here's the other one that I have. Like that. Isn't that cute? But it's not in the little thing like this one is, so either way, I like them. I think they're cute. And this one is extremely exciting. It has some red and orange in there. Very cool. So that is that. Did I show you everything? There's so much. Oh my gosh. So, oh, and I think I told you before. Oh, darn. That on the ornament of the month, my magnets keep sticking together. I'm still going to use the DMC rayon in the green and the Sullivan's metallic thread in the green and my Mill Hill green beads. So every ornament is going to be the same color, but the patterns are different. And they're all going to have this square in the middle. And by the end of the year, I'll be able to make ornaments out of them. I need to figure out some kind of blingy bling to put in the middle. I'm not sure what to do there. Ooh, I just had a thought. I have to write it down. Quick, get the pen. Writing it down. In center of ornament. Thanks, guys. Okay, got it written down. So yeah, so they're all going to match, kind of. The patterns will be different, but they're all going to be same colors. I know that kind of sounds boring, but I actually think it's going to be real pretty. Okay, and oops, turn back to the page I was on. Okay, doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. And, oh, okay, March, April, May, and June. On Unconventional Cross Stitch, there's going to be some stitch-a-thons. So if you stitch any of our patterns, you better bust those out. March, the first week is going to be stitch 10 stitches. You know, just give 10 stitches, post the before and after pictures. And then the next week is going to be stitch 100, post the before and after pictures. And then after that, darn it, I don't remember the third part, but I think that's the actual stitch-a-thon part where you do as much as you can. And there's a couple of us that get kind of serious about it. Not like scary serious, but I think it's fun. It motivates you and it brings out a little competitive spirit, and everyone just, they're like, yeah, now you're motivated to get that stitching in, let's do it, you know. And of course there's going to be prizes. I don't know what April, May, and June are going to have as far as projects. You know how like the first month, March, has 10, 100, and then the stitch-a-thon. I don't know how April, May, and June are going to go. So when I know, I will tell you. But yeah, you could get a cup, you could get a bag, and of course, you're not just going to get that one prize. You're going to get a bunch of other goodies in there as well. So if you're not a member of the Unconventional Cross Stitch group, please go over to the Etsy store or to the website. Check it out, because not all the patterns are horror and macabre or fetish, or, you know, there are some really pretty patterns. For example, I have the pirate ship, of course, that this is like the slowest stitchathon ever. Slow Stitch Sunday was created because of this. And it's almost done. Well, I would say at this point, it's almost halfway done. But I really want to get this one finished because it is so cool. The fabric's so soft, though. Maybe that's why I don't want to part with it or ever finish. But yeah, so this is one. It's a ship, pirate ship, made exclusively for the Stitching Pirates, and occasionally I will open that up to where you get a free pattern and a free minder, but you have to be a Stitching Pirate in order to do that. And then there is, of course, dragons. Now, it is my understanding that some people, depending on your religion, find scary monsters, even dragons, regardless of how beautiful the artwork is, to be a little against their religion. And that's fine, because there still are other things. And this is this way. And this is where I'm at on it. As you can see, I'm almost done with the border. And then, of course, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 10 in the middle. So 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 13 pages left. What am I doing? I think it's 13. Either way, this needs some love. And I can do a page in a weekend, which is 2,400 stitches, except for these on the side. Those are 1,700, I think. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason to... Anyway, they should be. It should have been done, and I didn't keep up with it because, you know, I was kind of packing up my life and taking a boat to the lower 48 and moving to Colorado, and then I don't know. Excuses, right? Well, on March 3rd, I am going to actually start something new. And this is a gift from my brother, of course. And this is, it's called Cute Angel Mermaid, but my brother and I call it Blue Angel Mermaid. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's kind of like weird art, but I really like it. And blue is my brother's favorite color. So here's the, let me show you the minders. There's two different kinds. I got the glass one first, but then when I got one of the button minders, you know, like normally they would be like flare, a pin that you'd put on, but now they're being turned into minders, and I absolutely love them. They're flat, and so here's the glass, so if you want to know what that looks like, and then there's the button minder right here. And I love button minders. I think that might be my favorite, unless it's sparkly ones. I like those too. Which reminds me, before I forget, latest acquisition is this one. And this is a resin minder. Look at that. It turns purple, then goes back to teal, purple, teal, purple. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And it's super light, size of a quarter. And I couldn't be more thrilled with this minder. This unconventional cross stitch again. Anyway, so if nothing else, I mean, her minders are not expensive at all. And even though she's shipping from Australia, you can choose to have tracking and having it registered and insured and all that. Because for some reason, when packages from overseas hit the U.S. coastal borders, either in San Francisco or over there on the West Coast or East Coast, Where is it? Where on the East Coast? There's one hub there. Anyway, those packages hit those places, and I don't know what those guys and gals are doing with our packages, but you half the time you get something from the overseas, it's going to be wrapped up in plastic with a note saying, "Sorry, your package was damaged." Well, it's not the seller's fault. It's the United States Postal System, customs. So when it comes through customs, those guys are running over your stuff with forklifts, electric cars, whatever they can think of doing. I even got a note put in my package once saying that one of my packages that has the fabric and floss from Jody Ree, it was all mangled, like they had taken their rubber glove, stuffed it in the envelope, and felt around in there. And then they had the nerve to send me a note saying that I'm on a list now because they found 0.2 grams of marijuana in a bag. I live in Colorado. If I wanted, I could go to the store. And I know that sounds weird. That actually sounds weird. Anyway, I don't need it shipped to me from England. And I know Michelle doesn't do that sort of thing. She's married to a military man. She's a very straight-laced person. That's not happening. Why would she send me marijuana? No. 0.2 grams, really? Really? I shouldn't have talked about that because anyway, those people, I'm using that term, that's so rude. Whoever is working in customs on both the West and East Coast needs to stop breaking people's stuff. And you file a complaint with the Postal Service and they ignore you. You'll get the standard thank you for blah, blah, blah. Nothing gets done. It's stupid. So anyway, the reason I went on that rant was because with the homemade minders, Jody makes these with her hands, with her little hands. These things are pretty hard to break, but the United States Postal Service customs people have figured out how to do it. There's one that's really thick. It's the Kraken. I think it's called Kraken. Anyway, it's a Kraken minder, and it's really thick. It's hard. And between Jody and her husband, they tried various methods to actually crack one. It took a while with, I think, a vise and some pressure, and it finally broke. Whatever those people have done at the customs office to break these, they're really doing something deliberately mean to crush packages and ruin things. That's why we can't have nice things. I guess I feel very fortunate every time I get a minder in, or my floss and fabric in, or anything that comes to me from overseas. I always feel very fortunate that those mofos didn't ruin it or lose things or rip it open and steal the chocolate. That's happened before. Just saying. Anyway, so back to the Stitch-a-thon. So I will have 3 unconventional cross-stitch patterns going, starting this one for my brother on his birthday on March 3rd. So that's going to be, I think, the only new start I'm having this year. Other than the Halloween. I mean, that's a given because, we do the Halloween sale. Anyway, oops, I put my book over here. And I don't remember what my point was now. I got off on that tangent. It was so rude. Anyway, I'm blogging every day. That's working out, and that's what I think about every day. I want to blog every day. Making my bed almost every day. Do that for the win. See, I read this book called The Motivation Switch, and it's weird because I started doing many of the things. There's 77 things that'll help you get motivated throughout life. And a lot of the things that are in that book are things I'm already doing. And then I learned a few new things. So not a bad read. I mean, it's a very small book, but 77 things. And there are even reasons behind it. And you're like, wow, I want to be like that, you know. So you start doing the things, and it's pretty cool. I think motivation number 78 should be eat all the powdered donuts. But that might, I don't know, interfere with some of the other 77. Powdered donuts. I should have some with my next cup of tea today. Okay, so let me go to this page on my planner. I just think it's so strange that next week is so free. But that is a good thing because I've got some serious stitching to do. Oh, before I forget, before I run off, I need to share with you. I grabbed my phone for this. There it is. So I was telling you guys about before about using, because you know every cell phone has a clock on it, and every clock app has the timer, and that's what I was using to time myself for the stitching for the 19 hours thing, right? So of course I reached a point where I went to the bathroom after, and I had paused my timer. When I came back, my time was gone. Good thing I had written it down. So then I go looking for a timer app, something that will keep my time. Well, I thought I'd found one. It had 4.5 stars after all, and people are saying this is great, blah, blah, blah. So I downloaded it and I started using it, and same thing. If you don't use it for a while, like you walk away to go make dinner or do the dishes or, you know, take a shower, when you come back, it's wiped your time clean, it's done. So I was talking to the girls about this, and my friend Lenore says, you need to check out Timesheet because that's what she uses. And I've noticed there are a few other stitchers in the blog world that use this. And I don't know how many of you use it in the Facebook groups or what have you, but it is awesome. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take you to my projects. So now this is hard to see. So there's my list of projects, and this is part of my Stitch 9 challenge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Now I know there is one project in particular that I probably won't finish by the end of the year, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try. So we've got all of our projects on here, nice and nifty. So here is what I'm working on right now. Here we go. And there it is. Now what you see over here, oops, no. It says for the month there's 13 hours, 40 minutes of stitching. That's for the month. But if you want to see what you're stitching for each project, you hit statistics. This is really great. So as you can see at the top, you know, you've got for the month and da-da-da-da. And then you go down and Let's see. Okay, here we go. Can I make this one bigger? No, I can't. Okay, so it's showing the two things that I've done so far with a pie chart, and on the right-hand side there, it has a time for each project. I love this. I love it. And it's actually supposed to be timesheet. Say you're a contractor like I am. You do certain jobs that require you to keep track of your own time. This is great. But I'm not going to use it for that. I am using it for this. And something I really love is that pie chart. I've seen other people's pie charts and I'm like, ooh, neato. I gotta have that. So, timesheet, it's an app. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like. So, no, it's not going to let you see it clearly. It's orange. It looks like an orange. So there's that. That's all the excitingness that's going on here. I can't wait to use timesheet today to get to work on Odd Clover after I put everything away. But I would like to mention one thing. I've been very tempted. Now, I have a certain amount of project bags. Now, I've created one for my Halloween because then I can stuff all my Halloween patterns in there, but I'll need a bigger bag for that. I have one for Christmas that I did stuff all my Christmas patterns in, and it's perfect. And because as you know, as I do those, I just give away the kits or whatever. Now, I have regular project bags for my projects. Like, let's look at this. Like, say, this one. This one used to have something. I finished it and we moved on, apparently, and deleted that information. So I put Blue Angel Mermaid in here because it's blue. See, blue. But this is one of my original project bags. I made a bunch just for particular projects. Like, oh, and see, here's Florida. So as I finish these, I will put new projects in, but I'm only having this many project bags. Does that make sense? So as I empty them, I'll take another UFO or whip out of the suitcase and put it in the empty project bags. I don't want to make a whole bunch of project bags for myself, but I have two in my Etsy store I've been eyeballing because I like them. They're really pretty. But if I bust these out, I'm gonna have to grab a couple more whips and then I'll feel overwhelmed and it'll throw off my plan for the whole year. The plan that took me all month to create. But it's in my Etsy store. Please save me from myself. It's got 100% batting on the inside. It folds up super small, you know, for easy storage. Doesn't hurt anything. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is how it'll come to you in a pretty envelope, of course. So there's this one that's super wonderful and very 70s. Please save me because I want to put something in there. And then, of course, the other winding flowers. I have one left of this. And yes, sadly, the inside lining is not the same as this, and it looks gorgeous that way. I miscut the last piece of fabric because it was first thing in the morning, and we don't and are not supposed to cut fabric before you're awake. But I have really pretty sparkly fabric in there, and it's gorgeous. It turned out really good. But I have been thinking about taking these out of my shop and using them. So please, please save me from myself. I need to put them back in the cupboard with the rest of my stock. Anyway, so pretty soon I'm going to be making a whole bunch more to put in my shop, but for now, you need to help me out and take those off my hands. So one particular cell that I am into, I wanted to share this because I was chatting with a friend of mine the other day, and apparently I go around thinking that everybody knows what TUSL is, and it's actually called the totally useless stitch along. And what that is for are your ort jars. How many orts do you do a month? How many do you put in your jar? What kind of container do you have? Show off your stuff. So I have my sapphire gin jar that it's slowly cracking, and I just found this today, this crack here. One more drop, maybe two, and this jar will shatter, so I'm gonna have to, I've had this one for so long, so I'm thinking, I wonder if I could dip it in polyurethane and that'll keep it together, cracks and all, because this really is a good representation of me. I am hand-selected botanicals, that would be me. And I absolutely love this jar, but if it breaks, I wonder if I could. You know, I'm going to have another jar ready to be made into an ort jar before I experiment with polyurethane. And of course, this was made by my friend Ashley. Gave it to me for Christmas several years ago, because I keep all the things. And for the sewing machine, so TUSL, you could have a jar, a box, a Ziploc baggie, a bowl. I think it's Daffy Cat who has this really pretty wooden bowl that's shaped like a leaf. It's really pretty. I love the bowl. She uses it for her sewing orts. And I have this. Yes, my sweet, sweet baby bird made this. 2005, she was in 6th grade. It says so right here, so I never will forget. I remember it's the first time I dyed her hair. You're probably screaming at me, you did that to her, child? She was only in 6th grade. If you knew my child, she's been doing weird things with her hair ever since. But she needed that, I don't know, by helping her with something she really wanted done, it really built her confidence. It helped to establish and give her a good foundation for the confidence that she has today. So, I don't know. But my baby bird, but she made this for me, and I keep it by my sewing machine, and it's usually full of threads and snippies of fabric, that sort of thing. And I just love it. But that's my other ort container. So, TUSL, totally useless cell. And I know it sounds silly, but it makes me giggle every time I post for it. So, because it's funny. Super funny. I mean, of all the things to have a cell, and there's no stitching involved, it's the end result of your stitching that you're actually looking at. And I'm not talking about the project, I'm talking about all the threads that get cast away, because, you know, here you have a finished piece. Oh, it's so glorious. It's so neat and tidy. No, it wasn't. You see what I mean? It's just a silly cell, so I love it. Love, love, love. I've loved it for years. So I think that's all the blabbing I have today. I need to get to stitching, but it's going to take a while to render this video, and of course upload it. Oh, today's also Apocalypse. The big burning question is, what sales are you participating in this year? Lots. But 50% of my sales are go along with the stitching that I'm doing. So it's not like stitching along the same pattern like the 50 by 50, 25 by 25 black work, Mamluck, Weaver's Bird Cell, or Neglected Floss. It's not like that. They're just supporting all the stitching that you do. So yay. And because January was the first month of the year and I'm testing the waters on all these little stitch alongs, since I've already picked fabric and floss and all that good stuff for these, February is going to go by super fast. Except for the 50 by 50 pattern. January's took way too long. Anyway, so I'm turning the page to a new date. No, wait, I can't. I still have things to do today. This week, so much writing. Next week in the planner is just this. That's it. Oh, and my note from earlier. All right, so I'm just going to wrap this up here today. Thank you for visiting with me. If you made it all the way to the end of it in the video, congratulations. And I don't know, until next time, keep on stitching.